Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, AEW interested in Kevin Owens.
A major update on WWE's plans for the Lucha Bros.
We're going to talk about Mercedes Moné's private locker room.
And a huge match is planned for John Cena's retirement tour. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Frank Mortos.
It's the news.
All right, we're going to kick this one off by talking about Kevin Owens, right? So, earlier this week, or was it last week? I can't remember. There was a story that came out stating that Kevin Owens' WWE deal is set to expire this year. So not too far away. This comes at a time when WWE are typically locking people down. They're doing that
aggressive,
earlier.
aren't they?
Yeah, they're putting them against the wall.
Sign your contract, asshole.
Stick the pen up their nose and they make them sign it that way. It's very aggressive. Shout outs to Angel Dust. But WWE has approached Kevin Owens to re-sign. According to Fightful, WWE sources believe that he's been approached. Owens hasn't signed a new deal yet, but the communications have been established, the waves have been opened, and the contract is expected to be up at the end of next year. However, people in AEW are very interested, major interest, if he's available, if he becomes available. That's the big if with all of this. And they are expected to make an offer to Kevin should he become a free agent. Of course, he may not even become a free agent if he just signs the contract. What do you think?
Interesting, this one. Obviously, got past relationship with the Young Bucks and the Elite, etc. So that makes things more likely, but I still think they are quite unlikely for him, to be perfectly honest. I feel a lot more confident in him sticking around in WWE than when his contract came a few years ago, and they basically had to dangle Stone Cold in the main event of WrestleMania. And I think that probably swung it, in my opinion, along with a few other things. He seems a lot more content, I'd say, now. He is far more established. You sort of know WWE, you know, they're not going to put the world title on him right now, but it's not completely out of the question further down the road. They always seem to book him really well. He's clearly having a lot of fun. He's worked with Cody Rhodes recently. He's teaming with Randy Orton, who I fear is going to betray him quite soon, to be perfectly honest. His mate Ricky was tagging with him last week, of course. But I quietly confident I think he's going to eventually stick around in WWE. I just hope, as we often say with these situations, he's holding out for more money because he absolutely deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's maybe like a 5% chance he leaves WWE.
Yeah.
If that. I think he just loves it. He loves it there, man. And like, understandably so. He, he's not like a 20-time world champion or anything like that, but he wrestled against Steve Austin in the main event. He's been a world champion. He gets to work with people like Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes all the blooming time. Like he's got lots
of... He's main evented Mania twice, I've just realised.
Exactly, the tag team match. He's got lots of friends there. He's got friends everywhere because he's such a nice, likeable guy.
Pineapple on his pizza.
Pineapple? Well, not everything can be perfect about people, I guess. But yeah, like he's just great in WWE. He's the kind of guy you could put him on any show in the world and he'd make it better.
Yeah.
Whether it be like hamming it up in a funny segment or having a great match where he takes like 20 back bumps that look really painful. I love Kevin Owens. I think he'll stay with WWE. I don't see him leaving, but it's fun to imagine people jumping ship.
Yeah, always.
And I think that if he did jump ship, he would be equally amazing over there.
And also, gonna get stuff for this, aren't I? I think AEW is a less attractive prospect than it was a few years back when he was contemplating jumping there.
I agree. Like if you look at the amount of people who've come into AEW and maybe not taken off to the degree, we'll speak about Mercedes in a little bit. That's a fair comment. I think only someone who's really tribal could fight you with that, and that's a lot of people, unfortunately.
But if you're a fan of people jumping shows, good news, we're going to talk about the Lucha Bros now, who are leaving AEW and are heading to WWE,
their signature pose.
That's them.
That's their one, yep.
Zero posing. Lucha Bros, we talked a lot about, with regards to them seemingly heading out the door of AEW and going to WWE, and PW Nexus have come through with a really interesting report regarding that, saying they've signed a multi-year contract with WWE and they're going to go directly to the main roster, which is a path not very well trodden, if we're perfectly honest.
Yeah.
You know, Cody Rhodes, obviously, when he returned, went straight to the main roster. AJ Styles is the obvious one who skipped NXT. But a lot of the times, they just go, let's just Even if it's just a month in there, let's just round off those edges. But you can tell they're excited with regards to Lucha Bros. I think Sid nailed this when we talked about it for the first time. I think, especially even though it's something as simple as Penta's Zero Miedo, in an era of yeet and yeah and all that good stuff, it's going to get so over. I just hope Triple H works out how to book Mexican talent.
And tag teams.
And tag teams. Oh, God, double whammy.
Yeah. I think that putting the Lucha Brothers in NXT would be a complete waste of time. They don't need to learn anything. They've been on American TV for 5 years.
Yes, good point.
Like, they don't need to brush up or anything like that. They're already really good. They're already great. And also, the main roster kind of needs them, right? The tag scene has been one of Triple H's... It's not awful, but it's not very good. So it's been one of his lesser good areas.
Yep.
What a sentence that is.
Agree.
Aside from things like the Usos versus Sami and Kev, which rocked. But like over the past couple of years, it's not been the most focused on thing.
No.
I think they could really use a really great tag team like the Lucha Brothers, and it will be good.
And yeah, call me a basic bitch, but I've watched WWE for long enough to know that they will probably be immediately put into a feud with someone like Legado del Fantasma.
That's how Triple H books.
And they can work the LWO as well, which is good on the one hand because it's like, okay, stylistically that would work very well, but also is real by the numbers booking in it.
Yeah, it's one of his bad habits, I would say, Triple. Look, people like to pretend that their favorite wrestling promotion is perfect. I don't think any wrestling promotion has ever been perfect, and that's one of his.
Actually, WCPW was perfect, but beyond that,
totally
and we had Penta there, of course.
DDT's perfect when the Giant Panda's
we
there.
actually discovered Penta.
We did. We just saw him. He was at Heathrow Airport. Went, all right, mate, why are you wearing a mask?
I also distinctly remember him giving someone a package pile driver on some stairs, and then that person on some chairs even, and then that person apparently having to drive people home afterwards.
Wow.
Boy, am I glad I'm not getting in that car.
Get an Uber next time.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Right, let's talk about Mercedes money.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so I don't know where this stuff comes from. There's been a lot of people really don't like Mercedes money.
Why?
Right? And I think it's fair to look at like what the work she does on TV and go, I don't enjoy this. It's not for me.
Not for me, but you don't have to just Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but like she gets a lot of hate that goes beyond even disliking her wrestling, I think. And there's been a few whispers here and there about her having a private locker room. And the narrative was that none of the men have. She has her own private locker room. She's getting treated like a superstar. Why is everyone else? And all this kind of whingy bollocks.
Blue M&Ms on her rider.
Yeah, they pay her $2 billion a year. To me, it's just hating ass BS.
Yes.
Fightful have talked about this rumor, talking about her having her own locker room and how no man has one. Why does Mercedes get special treatment? She does have her own locker room, but several other people in the company do as well, and have
Upper
had.
echelon of people, yes.
Yeah, over the years. Chris Jericho, the Elite, Cody, Brandy Rhodes, Sting mentioned among this. So I think I wouldn't have touched this if Fightful hadn't shut it down. I think when something like that takes off, when it's just clearly someone has made that up just to try and undermine her, and it's important to come and shut that down.
Yeah.
Now look, if you want to undermine based on performances, by all means. Britt Baker match, not great. Hikaru Shida match, not great. There are questions to be asked. This backstage segment with the Okada party.
Some might say she's one of the big disappointments of 2024, maybe in like a Q&A or
yeah,
something.
and look, I'm talking about
What coming later? Today?
5 p.m.
Hey.
UK time, midday East Coast. And look, I'm talking about one of my favorite wrestlers here. I love Mercedes Moné. I love Sasha Banks. I think she's excellent. But if you want to talk about the work, that is fair game. You're putting the work out there. When you produce work for an audience, you are open to criticism.
Yeah.
That's fine. But a lot of people seem to have personal vendettas against this successful woman. I wonder why. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that unfortunately is never going to go away in this business. And as a man who's appeared on her Instagram story for about a split second, look, there I am next to Prince Nana at Sweet Chin Disco. Look, my experience of her, very brief though it was not diva-ish whatsoever. But as always, what's the phrase? That the lie's gone halfway around the world before the truth has got its trousers on. You're right. We're right just to shoot this sort of bollocks down.
This is it. People love to spread little vendettas against people they don't like, and she inspires a lot of Like, you'd think that the way some people talk about Mercedes Moné, like she'd broken into their house and pissed on their mum or something.
Or never had a good match ever, or justified, quite rightly, being one of the most highest paid women in the industry.
And now she's gone to AEW. It makes it double worse as well, because you get all those stupid Twitter accounts who, you know, exist to hate something. It's weird.
What next?
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, I want to save the environment. So if you're going around calling yourself Mercedes, you're promoting cars, petrol, and climate change. So.
This is it. There's some people in wrestling who could cure a terminal illness out of nowhere and they would still get criticized for it. It's just the world we live in, unfortunately. Wrestling is silly.
Tell you a man who used to get a lot of hate. Less so nowadays, thankfully. John Cena.
Hey.
Very vocal part of the audience. Hey, a very divisive figure. Not really, Michael Cole. Everyone's booing him.
Yeah.
But he's retiring next year. Really excited for his retirement tour of 2025. I mean, it's not going to be brief. That's for damn sure. 50-odd dates, I think.
So he's there every week, basically.
Yeah, basically. They're squeezing the last bit of juice out of John Cena. But I'm really excited about this because WrestleVotes mentioned that WWE is interested in booking a John Cena versus Logan Paul match for John Cena's retirement tour. I really like this. I want him to go Dr. Thugonomics on that arsehole, who does make a great drink that you should feed to your children. I should point that out. Prime is delicious. But it's not like he's going to be short of content. But also, the characters work really well here, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not... It's difficult. This is a difficult one because, like, I really want to be invested in the John Cena retirement tour, and I'm sure I will. Like, I'm sure after like a week I'll be like, no, it rocks. But like initially, it's a little bit hard because in his recent appearances, he's looked a little thrashed. John.
Yes,
he's
fair.
looked a little thrashed. He doesn't really. He's a major star. It would be stupid to argue otherwise. But he's not really performing like one anymore, and that's understandable. He's old, and he's rich, and he's bald. So, you know, that stuff takes a toll. I didn't like the Austin Theory match. I didn't like the Solo Sikoa match. I quite liked the stupid tag match he had on the Raw after Mania, but it was a slapstick comedy
That was
match.
fun, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, he can still do silly lower card stuff. Can he still perform at the level of gravitas required to make this really land? I think he'll pull a few rabbits out of the hat for sure. But
yeah, and what a weird sentence to say. I think Logan Paul will drag him to a good match. Logan Paul doesn't have bad matches, in my opinion. So weird to say a sentence like that, but I think obviously Logan Paul's been a sensation in wrestling since he debuted. I'm excited to see what the build looks like to this, arguably more than the match.
Yeah, 100%. Are you gonna... What do they call it? What's this new BS product called? Lunchleys?
Oh, like the Lunchables thing. I saw a thing with him, Beast, and KSI. Yeah.
Well, you know, like, the thing with these influencer products, like, I don't like the Prime, but I don't really like energy drinks anyway.
Yeah.
Or sports drinks or whatever, so not for me. Have you tried Mr. Beast's chocolate?
No.
Feastables. It's pretty good, actually.
Okay.
Pretty good. I know, look, I know Mr. Beast is quite a divisive character as well. I'm not detracting from that, but the chocolate's quite nice.
Yeah, and if Mr. Beast wants to do a collaboration, we are more than welcome.
Yeah, there's loads of these wheat products these days.
Yeah. Should we make something?
Yeah, let's do it. What will we make?
Crisps,
Probably crisps.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, we've got the chocolates taken care of, drinks are out of the question. Crisps.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, all the good names for crisps are out the window because of Lidl rip-offs. Like Krusty Croc, that's a good... Snacky Cracky, we can't use either of those.
I loved back in the day in here in the UK, they did a partnership with a very famous footballer. Instead of salt and vinegar crisps, they did salt and lineker. So... Over to you, comment section. What, using the names of people at WhatCulture, what should our crisps be called?
Pickled Hamflet. Pickled Hamflet. Why not? Let's go.
Pickled Hamflet and cheese. I don't think you can make ham and cheese flavoured. We've
no idea.
had some delicious sausage sandwich crisps.
Hey, you should send them to us on Twitter as well, at Adam Wilbur.
Yeah.
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for hey, come out for crisp flavour, and hey, also watch this video.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll be back with the afternoons later. Bye.
Bye. Sorry.